Yeah. Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all for webinar on designing and hosting a responsive portfolio website using GitHub. So here with us, our own alumni, Etin Babu, okay, of 2014 batch. Okay, currently is doing his MTech. Along with that, is also a freelance website developer and done many of the projects. So I wholeheartedly welcome on behalf of Computer Science Department, Etin Babu. Thank you for accepting our invitation and sharing your knowledge with our
Nice.
students. Okay,
Thank
so
you,
now I
sir.
request,
And
yeah, yeah. Now I request Anil sir to address the gathering. Anil sir.
Dear students, thanks for joining the session, and we should thank Yatin Babu. So, Alumni Connect is a program which director sir wanted to start, where all the alumni who are having very good technical knowledge should share their knowledge with their juniors. That is what the primary concern of this program. And most of the time, when we observed in the programs, in the training programs, students won't be they won't open completely. Okay, so if they have certain doubts and other things, they won't be that much communicating with the experts or else the senior faculties. So that's why what we thought is it's always better their own seniors, they are going to teach them. Okay, at that time it will be very much helpful. And this knowledge sharing is always even in our life we should be adaptive. Okay, so this session, hope this session will be very much helpful, and the topic is very much relevant to the current scenario. So thanks Yatin, thanks for accepting our invitation, and you are taking this session, and hope this session will be helpful for our students. Thank you.
Yeah, over to you, Etin. Thank you, sir.
okay, sir. First of all, I would like to thank Anil Kumar sir, Shantala ma'am, director sir, Suresh sir, and Suha sir, and everyone who made this possible. And I'm like equally excited to share share how to like design websites using GitHub with you all. And um, so first of all, like you can get like whenever like when we go through this webinar, like if you guys get any like questions, like you guys can ask in the chat box. So a little introduction about me before like getting started. So I have been working as a website developer from past 3 years, and I've been worked on like quite a few industrial web applications, like regarding GST billing, as well as in web. Right now, we are working on a web application which is quite very similar to SurveyMonkey, where we can like get survey responses from almost like everyone. And also, like in the event in the time of pandemic, like I also started to freelance. uh, so in this webinar, like I will be sharing with you guys, like and also like giving you guys hand-on experience, like um, how to what's in Microsoft Visual Studio, and how to install it. And we'll be going through version control system, what it is, and we'll be like installing and working on Git version control system. And then we'll be signing up to GitHub. And then I'll be giving you guys a little bit introduction about what is GitHub pages, and how you guys can like develop a website in your local system, and then deploy it to a remote server, and then you can maintain it. uh, that's the like the overview of what we'll be going through in this webinar. And first, let me just give you guys a brief introduction about what is a version control system is. For example, let's consider we are working on a very small project, like the one we usually get in our engineering for working on some mini projects. So like usually maybe in our mini projects we may work on like one page of code, like it could depend upon like the platform we are working on, but like whenever you do any changes in those codes, maybe like when it's simple, like the amount of code you have written, if it's small, so whenever you do like changes to the code, maybe like you'll be able to remember what are those changes. And if you like include any bug in those codes, then after you find it, you can revert those changes so that the system works properly. So, but if you guys like work in a group, let's say around 10 people are working on a particular project, and in this pandemic, usually like you guys, like many of our developers would be working from home, and each one of us will be working on a particular feature in a software, and then if someone makes changes, any changes to the source code, and then try to merge it with the production, there could be possibly introduce some bugs which will affect the overall performance of the system, and also the software won't work the way it is supposed to work. So that's the problem of having not having a version control system while developing a software. And that's one of the demerits that version control system overcome. And also apart from that, like for example, if a group of people are right now like working on a project, so if someone makes changes, so with the help of version control system, we will be able to like get to know who made who made those changes, and at what time, and like so that we can inspect the code if something goes wrong within the entire software, and we can just revert it back. And especially right now in our webinar, we'll be focusing much more on Git version control system. The advantages of working on Git version control system is like it's a distributed VCS. So the meaning of a distributed VCS is like whenever each developer is working remotely in his own location on his own desktop, so each one of them will be having his own copy of the entire source code, and they will just making changes, and they will be pushing it to a remote repository where everyone can check those codes, and have a they can have a good version control of it. So now let me just start with the start working on actual Git repository. So before getting into the Git, first I would like to introduce you guys with Microsoft Visual Studio Code. It's a like a top IDE, means text editor that's been used like throughout the world by top companies, and it's been developed by Microsoft, and like it's completely regularly been managed so that like software people who are developing the software can like easily develop those things. And I just want you guys to like at the same time while going through this webinar, you guys can actually like download those codes that I will be like just putting it in comment boxes. So the next thing that we would be requiring in this webinar is Git version control system. So I want you guys to go to this URL and download and install this version control system, software before we get started with it. So like, can I give you guys 10 minutes to like 5 minutes to install these softwares, and then moving forward so that we both can work hand in hand, like side by side? Or shall I just move on like giving the introduction and working on Git?
Yeah, you can, like, I think you can move on, like if they can do continuously with you, parallel with you. Okay, you can just
yes,
move on, I think.
Yes, sir. So I hope you guys are seeing the terminal here. It's actually inside the Microsoft Visual Studio Code. So right now, for the purpose of webinar, I'm using the white theme. Like usually when we like go on and developing real projects, so that in our when we developers work for usually for long times and for long durations, usually our eyes get usually get a little bit tired. So in order to like avoid those things, we can actually just change to dark theme. But for the purpose of the webinar, I will be like choosing the like theme. So right now, before getting started, I want each one of you to create 2 empty folders. That's Git demo and Git intro. So first, so first of all, in the Microsoft Visual Studio, in software development, executing Git commands, there are actually 2 ways of doing it. One through having a graphical user interface that I will be also showing you guys, and the next thing is using a terminal command line interface. So first, for the purpose of learning, I will be introducing you guys through command line interface. Usually, I think you guys might have already familiar with command in Windows and terminal in Linux and iOS. So after the installation of Visual Studio Code and Git VCS, so first we should check whether the Git has properly installed or not, and even the whether we are working on the current latest version. So in order to do that, do have a look in the command line interface. First, before getting anything done in the empty folders that we are right now working on, we need to check its version. version. So right now I'm working on Git version 2.3.31.1, and so as you guys can see here, we have the latest version, 2.31.1. So the next thing we will be doing is initializing an empty Git repository. There are two ways by which we can introduce Git to a version control system to our software development. First, let's say one company has developed a software and they haven't gone through version control system, and like on that case, if they have already those source codes, then like they can easily introduce version control system within their software development, so that they can have version control over this system. So let me just initialize an empty Git repository here. So now I just created an empty Git repository, and right now we don't have any source files present here. And also, like, we can the status of the Git repository. So here we can see that right now I will later on let you know guys what's commit is. So right now, since we haven't have any source files here, it will show no commit yet. So first, let me just create a simple text file and start with Git. So I will just write a text string. I just created a file and just saved it. So as you guys can see here, beside the name of the text file, it shows U. Means whenever we add a file within a Git repository, so each file will be having 3 stages. One is not tracked, another one is staged, and the final stage is committed. So right now our file is not tracked. So the meaning of it's not tracked means, like, let me just do another change. So I just added another line, and so the Git repository is not able to recognize this change, and we won't be able to revert to our initial state through Git. So that's the point of like having an untracked file. So let me just stage this file using this command. So there are two ways we can actually stage a file. One is directly writing git space add space demo.txt. So that's one way of staging a file. And also, like, if we have a multiple number of files, let's say this is just a demonstration repository, but in our practical use cases, we will be having like around 30-40 files, and let's say that we just introduce Git to that software files, and now we need to add all those files. The empty Git repository. So in that case, we can just use dot, which is very similar to Linux commands, where we will use rm dot, so that we can remove all the files within a single folder. So it's very similar to that. So, but in our case, since we have just one file right now, so let me just enter the file name itself. So right now, as you guys can see here, from U it changed to A, means right now it's been added, but it's still not been part of the Git repository, because whenever we add a new file, until we commit that file to the Git repository, means make it a part of Git repository, so that VCS system can track the changes, what's happening within the entire software. So that won't be happening till now. Let me just commit it. So here in this git command, git space commit space -a space -m space quotes double quoted with initial commit. So what this commit command git command means is, right now we are committing a text file demo.txt to the Git repository, so that the Git repository can track the further changes that will be happening for that file. So usually what this -a means, for example, if we have, as I said before, multiple files, and if we have to commit those multiple files at a time, so we use -a, and also in order to add a message, like a commit message, what's the changes that we are incorporating within the Git repository. To indicate those things, we will have a message here. Usually when we create an empty repository, and usually when we make our first commit, so we will just enter initial commit. So that's just a standard practice. So let me just so actually it's got the demo.txt got committed to the repository. Now from now onwards, the Git repository, Git VCS will be tracking the changes that will be happening within the text file. So now let me just check the status of the repository. So the command I will be using to check the status of repository is git space status. So git status will be just giving us the message of what's happened in the repository, and like a brief. It will be giving us some brief history of what all the changes that have been already been taken. So as you guys can see here, it's on the master branch, and like already everything is been committed here. So now let me just give you guys an introduction about gitignore file. Let's say when we develop any software, we have a source files which we may think not really necessary to be tracked by Git VCS. For example, files like which contains dependency, like when we usually work on projects in the platform, Django platform. So usually we will be having some dependency files where we will be listing all the external dependencies. So those kind of files need not really be tracked by Git VCS, because we usually don't change any content within those files. And also, even if in your source files, if you have any confidential information that you don't want to push to a remote repository, that I will be like talking like in a few minutes, like what is a remote repository and what's a local repository. So if you have any files like that which have confidential information, or else the files you don't want Git to track it, so you can just include the names of those files. So let me just create another file. I just created a text file called password. Let's say I have a email and simple like a folder password. So now I don't want this password.txt file to be tracked by Git. So in order to do that, I just as you guys can see here, as soon as I created a new file and added some content to it, it automatically got initialized to U, means untracked, as I said before. So now, as you guys can see, as soon as I entered password.txt into git ignore file, so this got totally ignored by Git VCS. Now, from now onwards, like all the files that I will be including here will be totally ignored by Git, and any changes, even if you guys make any changes to files like this, it won't be like tracked by those Git. Like, let me just make another change. So after making any changes, VCS did not detect any changes within this file. So that's the purpose of having a git ignore file. So the next command that I'll be introducing you guys is git log. So as you guys can see here, git log just showed up the history of this repository, and it shows that we have already there is a single commit we have already done here, and who is the author. That's the principal use I told you guys before, like what's the purpose of having the VCS. So that like within a group, if a developer introduces any changes, so we need to know which developer introduced that change and at what time, and what's the comment he gave to introduce those changes. So that's the purpose of having the git log command. So now I would like to introduce the concept of having a remote repository as well as having a local repository. So right now, we created these files within a repository, and we just committed these files to the repository. So all these files are being stored within a local repository on our local machine. So it won't be accessible to any other developer who is working on any other workstation. Like it could be like anywhere. So in order to like, let's say that there are a group of developers who are working on a particular project, and right now they want to have everyone wants to have the access to the source code they are working on. So we need to host the source files somewhere on the internet. So in order to host a Git repository on internet, we need to have a Git repository hosting service. That's where we will create a remote repository and host all our source code, so that everyone will be having the legitimate people who has the access to those repository will be having the complete access to the source code, and they can make changes to the code, and like they can just push the changes into the remote repository, so that everyone can view it and merge these changes within the master branch. So like I will be letting you know guys what's a branch and how to create a remote repository now. So first I want all you guys to create a account in GitHub. So you guys can just go to github.com and just click the sign up button. Let me just share the link with you. Since I already have a GitHub account, like I won't be creating another one, but I will be letting you know guys how to create a remote repository and how to push this local code into that remote repository for free. So this is the dashboard of GitHub, where I will be like hosting all my like previously done Git repositories. So let me just create a empty repository for the webinar. So I just named the Git repository what the name should be. Git repository, it's very similar to like naming the Git repository is very similar to naming a folder in your local system. And I just gave a like a brief description of what the remote repository will be hosting, what it will be hosting within that repository. And here you guys can see that it's public and private. So the meaning of having a public repository is it's very similar to having a public account on Instagram. So like in Instagram, whenever you guys have any like a public account, so anyone like who is not even your friend, like come to your like profile and check what all you guys are like doing. So the meaning of having a private repository is like having a private account, so that it's locked, and whatever within your account, like the source code won't be visible to outsiders, apart from the people you give permission, just like the friends in the Instagram. Only those people will be able to access this repository and like play within the code that's been hosted within this repository. Also, let me just add a README file. So README file will be having it's like having an introduction content of what the purpose of the Git repository, and also I will be adding a license. So adding a license file is nothing more than the permission, that the amount of permission you will give to other people, so that how much percentage to what extent they can use your source code to their own purpose. It's like that. So here I will be choosing the MIT license. MIT license mentions that it's giving permission that whenever someone visits your repository, they can just clone it and use the content within that repository to their own purpose for free. That's the simplified meaning of choosing the MIT license. And also I have initialized this Git repository to public. And on clicking this button, an empty Git repository will be created. As you guys can see here, the README file got initialized with Git and GitHub introduction. So that's the description I gave while creating this empty Git repository. Also, it has a license file, which will have a standard MIT license that will be giving other software developers to freely use those the source codes within this repository. So I hope you guys are following and creating Git account and just created an empty Git repository side by side. So the next thing that I will be doing is cloning this Git repository to my local machine. So the meaning of cloning a remote Git repository is downloading the content within this within the remote repository to your local machine, so that you can have the complete source files within your local machine, and you can work on it. So any changes you make to the repository that's within your local system won't affect anything in the remote repository until you push it to the remote repository. And usually whenever we work in a commercial software, there will be an admin who will give permission to just merge the content from the local repository to the remote repository. So I will be just doing the same thing here. So I just this is the URL of the remote repository. I just copied the URL. So right now I'm just going to clone the remote repository to my local machine, so that I will be having the access to all the code that's present in the remote repository. I'm just choosing the D drive. So let me go ahead within a So using this command git clone and the URL of the remote repository, I was able to clone the remote repository to my local machine, and I was just moving inside within that repository. So as you guys can see here, like in the remote repository, we were having a license file and read.md file. So I just cloned the remote repository and went by the command cd space git demo. I was able to go within this repository, and I just check the content within the repository. So it also has a license file and a readme.md file. So now let me just create some HTML files, and I will teach you like how to push those HTML files into remote repository. So this is the command line interface. This is very similar to the command prompt that we'll be using normally in the Windows system. Just the Microsoft Corporation has like integrated a small miniature version of command within the Visual Studio Code. So now let me just, as you guys can see here, there is a license file and readme.md file, and I will just create some new files along with this. I just created a HTML file. So I just created a h1 tag within a empty HTML page. Now let me just create some style sheets and JavaScript sheet. So as you guys can see here, all the three files are right now untracked by the Git VCS. So we need to stage them and add them to the Git repository so that from now onwards, it will track any changes that will happen within this entire repository. Let me just add the style sheet within the HTML file. So let me just write a simple style rules. I just added a style rule for h1 element. So the color will be red and the background color will be black to the heading. So let me just now add a JScript. So in order to JavaScript access this HTML elements, I need to refer them. So in order to refer them, I will be using the ID tag. So you can actually like do this without even having a ID tag, or else like a class attribute directly. But for the webinar purpose, I'll be just using a ID tag here. Also, one more thing I just want you guys to let you know that we can also add style rules to HTML elements using JavaScript also. So it's very simple and easy. So what I did is I just created a h1 tag with some text, and I just gave a color of red to it and a background color of black. And here through JavaScript, I was able to make it a like font style to italic. So let's see what happened. So as you guys can see here, the changes are being done. So let me just, so this is the initial stages, initial change that we have done to a remote repository. But the content that we have right now added to the remote repository, that's on our local machine. Won't change any content that's already, won't change any source files that's already present in the local repository that we have hosted on the GitHub. So as you guys can see here, like even after I just refresh the empty repository, even after I added these files, it's not been uploaded, means pushed here. So let me just first stage it, and then let me just commit it so that we can just easily push it to the remote repository. So as you guys can like, if you guys remember last few minutes back, I told you like you guys can either use git add dot to add all the source files at a time at once. So or else like manually, like you can type index.html or style.css. So individually you have to take the name of source files. So it is like it gets a little bit tedious if we have a project with around 50 plus source files. So it's a right now what we are working on is a very small project, but it will get a little bit tedious like as the project grows on. So I just paged the files. Let me just commit it in our local repository. I'm going to just like commit all these files within our local repository at once, giving a comment that it's initial commit. So commit is being done. If we just check the like a this action logs, we can see that it's been we have successfully like committed these files within the local repository. So now let me just introduce a small change within this file. So let's let me another some more text within this heading. So right now you guys can see here that it's mentioning M, so which means modified. The file just got modified from the initial stage, which was being committed to the local repository. We can also like go like move here, which is the option where we can like, this is where we can like manage the Git repository within our local systems. And if we just compare it, you guys can see what's the changes. This was the previous change that was been committed to the local repository, and this is the latest version of the source code that we are having right now, and it's not been committed to the local repository till now, but we will do it. So this is the way we can monitor changes whenever we introduce any changes within our source code, to compare it, and if we introduce any bugs within the code, we can just revert back to the stable version, which I will be also letting you know how to do it in a few moments. So let me just commit it. So here, as you guys can see here, like I just in the text within the heading tag. So whenever we commit any changes, we need to give appropriate comments, and it should not be very long. It should be small and very convincing. So this is the comment that will be that I will be using for this commit. So commit has been done. So right now it's quite enough that we are working on the local repository. Let me just push this local repository, the code present that is within the local repository to the remote repository that's within the GitHub here. So in order to push the code, means upload the code that right now we are having in the local repository to a remote repository, we need to add a command. Let me just show you guys. Okay. Let's push -u origin. So as you guys can see here, it's right now our Git repository is within the main branch. So I will also tell you guys what the branches and what's the purpose of having branches within a Git repository. So we need to refer this branch and push our code to relevant branch. So it's been done. So let's check whether the source files that we created in our local repository are present in the remote repository also. So as you guys can see here, we just push the code that was in our remote repository to in the local repository to our remote repository, and you guys can like access the source code, like what are the things that were there within our local repository here. So the same things will be present within the remote repository. will be present in the remote repository also. That's the way of like handling the projects with Git version control system. And so now let's move on to the main objective of creating a static single page portfolio websites to each one of you. So this is the like the final like the website that I have already hosted within my GitHub account, and it will somewhat look like this. And you guys will be replacing this image with your image, and you will be like changing this text to the relevant text that like introduction that you guys have. And these are the tools and technologies that I'm familiar with, so you guys can like edit the icons. Like I will be letting you know guys like how to do all these things in a few moments. And yeah, let's get started to build a website. So right now I want each one of you to go to this URL and just clone this repository to your local machine, and then we will just start to work on it, edit it, and then push the code to the GitHub, so that everyone like right now who are working on will be having a portfolio like this. So the URL, I will be putting the URL in the Google Meet. Also, like if you guys have any like related like Git, VCS, or else MS code, so just comment it in the like Meet so that I can just answer you guys. So should I like wait till everyone like clone this repository and start editing it?
Yeah, no, I think they have not installed this Visual Studio and everything before only. Okay, I think they're not doing it practically. Hello.
Yes, sir. I will just let them know like how they can just edit it and push it so that each one of them can have a website like this.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
So one more thing, I just want to add. Yes, sir. So one more thing that I would like to add is this website is completely responsive. What responsive means is right now I'm accessing the Chrome div tools, where we will be checking how the websites render within different devices. So it's actually the website is rendering like how it will render usually within a small mobiles of around 320 pixels. So now the width got a little bit more, and it's about 375. In similar way, we can check how a website works within a tab. This is a small laptop, the width of a small laptop, and this is the width of large laptops. So this is how the elements within these websites will rearrange so that all the content within the website looks good. So that's the meaning of responsiveness, responsive website. So also like before going further, if you guys are like completely not familiar with like these technologies, but you're familiar with some other technologies like here are the plenty of other icons. Like you guys can customize the look here. All the icons are already present here, like jQuery, HTML5, React.js, so something like that. You can customize the website with these icons when you are working on these things. So let me just so in order to clone this remote repository into our local machine, we just have to as I have already told you guys, like you just need to click this link and like clone and the URL. So on pressing enter, like the entire remote repository will be just cloned into within the directory that you are pointing to. So here I have already like done this so that it will be like much less time consuming. So here I have the exact copy of the source code that's been hosted in the remote repository in this URL. So now I will be like making some little changes and pushing it to the remote repository so that you guys can check how to make changes. So another thing that's there within this website is so here also, like you guys can change your image, this image to your image, and customize the content within here, and give the social media links to which to your social media links. And right now they have been pointed to the social media accounts that I'm been using. You can just customize it later on. So let me just do a few changes in here, and let's see whether if it's get pushed to the remote repository also. So let me just add a new icon. So if you guys are like maybe already familiar with HTML code structure, so it's actually this code is following the HTML5 structures, and plenty of new elements have been introduced here. For example, I'm using a meta tag. It helps in SEO purpose of the website. I mean, it's not completely, but for this demonstration purpose, it's very enough. And I also have like referring to a remote resource that I have making it present within my website. It's actually this code will be used to add some interactivity within the JavaScript. And also here I have used Google Fonts. So if you guys are not familiar with Google Fonts, so Google offers a plenty of fonts for web developers so that they can customize their web applications or websites so that it will look as much as unique as possible. And there are plenty of fonts that are available online. So you guys just need to go to fonts.google.com, and as soon as it loads, you guys can just click on one of the font and just add this to your like your need, and you can just like change the, here you can see it like the font size. You can check the font size to which you need, and then you will get a style link like this, and you can just copy paste it within your HTML files. So yeah. Let me just add a new icon. So one more thing, while working on the Git repositories and in the Visual Studio Code, that we can notice is right now from the beginning, I introduce you guys on how to work on large projects and with Git in command line interface. So also the Visual Studio offers us a GUI, graphic user interface, where we can easily like commit the files. Let me just do it again. So in order to access Git within the Visual Studio Code through GUI, a graphical user interface, you need to click this icon, and right now it's been modified and it's not been staged yet. So you just need to click the plus icon. So right now it got staged, and here you can add the comment. So icon added. Just by pressing the arrow mark, I just committed the changes within my local repository, and now I will be able to push this changes within the local repository to the remote repository. So it's been done. Let's see. So the way we can actually check whether the changes are being done or not. Right now there is no SAS icon beside here, so it should appear. A icon should appear here, which is very similar to the one here. As you guys can see here, like our latest change, the change we just introduced to our local repository and just pushed it to the remote repository has been implemented. It's been done. So that's it, guys. Like right now with this like webinar, like we went through what is a version control system, what's a Microsoft VS Code IDE. So talking about IDE, so Microsoft VS Code is one of the most popular IDE that's been currently used throughout world to develop web applications as well as software. And there are other plenty of IDEs also. For example, we have Eclipse and NetBeans for Java development, and PyCharm for Python related application development. So for our purpose, for this webinar purpose, to get introduced with designing a website, and then like pushing it to a remote server, and then maintaining it. For this purpose, like it's better to use Visual Studio Code rather than any other. So this concludes the webinar.
Yeah, Etienne, thanks a lot, Etienne, like for like showing a practical demonstration on Visual Studio IDE and how to clone and how to design a static page and upload in your Git and everything. And really, like it was like a basic to our students to get in touch with GitHub and everything. So I thank wholeheartedly for accepting our invitation and presenting a webinar on this particular portfolio website. Okay, thanks for your time and your knowledge, Yatin, from Department of
Yes,
Sales. Yeah,
yes, I
yeah,
would
yes,
like to thank like everyone who made this polygon, and like I would also like ask sorry for like students if I have bored them like little bit.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it would be better if you'd have went through offline, and a practical demonstration would be a better way. Okay, so in the days to come, like we'll plan to an offline session. Okay, thank you,
Sure.
Yatin. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you, students, for your participation.